What's up, everybody? Clinton Foshee here, and
I'm Albert Chavez.
And this is Front Porch Chronicles. And today we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ruben Bad Boy Warr. Thank you so much for taking time. He's out here in SoCal visiting, and we got him on. We're lucky enough. I appreciate you taking the time to come on.
The honor is mine.
We appreciate you coming on. So, you know, you got a really cool, not to gas you up, you've got a really cool, inspirational story for me, going back and looking at, some of your past clips and your past and stuff like that. You've overcome, and I know this is going to be hard for you because you, like me, it's hard to take constructive or compliments, but you got a really gnarly story. And I know for me, as a father and as a man, to go through a lot of the stuff that you've gone through, and for you to be like the father that you are and the man that you are that works hard to provide for his family. I know for me, it was very motivating and admiring for me. And when I shared it with Albert, I was like, hey, I want to get this guy on, and I'll usually come up with something, and he usually does the research.
Yeah.
I already kind of had done the research, but when he done the research.
It's so powerful, man.
Yeah.
Like, just to see where you kind of shared a little bit about it. It's inspiring. I'm 25. So when you shared about your experience when you were 28, and we'll get more into that too, that's just like, man, like I would never be able to relate to that. And the fact that you have built yourself up and you're there for your kids. You just show up every single day. I can't wait to get more into it in this episode.
Yeah. So
to me, it's I never had parents.
Yeah.
So like, I had a foster mom, but like I said, we just didn't see eye to eye, man. And growing up, there was a lot of things that I wish I had, in her, and I never did. And then I never had a dad. So it was like, I missed a lot of feelings growing up as a kid because I prayed of having it. I never had it. So when I had my son, it was like he was like in my arms, and I'm like, man, like how did I not have this growing up? You know what I mean? Like, because I can never do that to my kids. You know what happened to me? I can never devalue my children the way people have towards me. So my goal is to give them the world, and I'm going to die trying,
Well, besides just the financial of you providing for them financially, I don't think that and it's kind of one of those things for me too. I don't think that we know the legacy that we're setting up for our kids.
Oh, yeah.
What you're doing, I'm sure the bare-knuckle, the MMA, all of that cool stuff, I'm sure they look at and they'll be cool to them. But at the end of the day, looking at what you've overcome and what you've gone through and still being the man that you are for them, that to them is going to make you even bigger of a superhero. Like, what do they say? 5'5", but in a 6 foot, like they're going to see you as this superhero.
Man,
so
it's so funny you say that, because my daughter, every day that she's not with her dad, dog, every day she'll FaceTime me as soon as she wakes up. She'll FaceTime me. And she's like, you're the best dad in the whole entire world. I love you. I can't wait to see you. I want to come home. I want you to come home. And it's like, it gives you that motivation to like push yourself past exhaustion, push yourself to excel, so that way you could provide these kids, that road, because they're the next generation for us, man. I want my daughter, I want my son to understand value. I never had that. I never was taught value of myself. So I always like let people treat me like shit because I thought that was my value.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I want my daughter and my son to be like, nah, my dad put up with a lot of shit, but he didn't let women take over his life. I always chose my goals over women. You know what I mean?
To get that, like, to feel.
Yeah. Because I just felt like my kids and my goals are what make me happy. And if you don't make me happy, go find your own table. That's cool. If you think you'll find better than me, bye. There's a door.
It's breaking. It's breaking generational toxicity.
Yeah,
and it's probably going. We'll kind of go deeper into, but it's probably deeper into what your parents passed down to them, what they were taught.
Yeah,
and they were probably. It's a generational cycle, and that's why I said for you, I relate and like. Hearing your story, I was like, it was so powerful and moving to me because like you, same thing. I went through a lot of chaos and trauma and all of this stuff. And for me, it's so important for me to break that generational toxicity and not have my kids feel wanted, needed, and loved like I did when I was a kid. It's almost to me like it helps me heal my inner child to give them all of the love and admiration that I wish that I had.
Yeah, to me, I look back, right? I look back and I'm like, man, I didn't have this, I didn't have this, I didn't have this. And I look forward and I'm like, damn, man, my kids are, my daughter's almost 7, my son's 8. They've already been in Disney World, Disneyland, Jamaica, Bahamas. They've traveled around the world. They watched her dad get the fastest knockout in BKFC history.
That was
like I'm so hard on myself, like all that. I'm like, man, I got to do this. When I get home, I gotta go straight to work. I gotta, make sure I get my son involved in baseball, my daughter in gymnastics. I'm thinking about them. I'm not even thinking about the knockout. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about like what I gotta do when I get home.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's so much more important to me.
Yeah, it's bigger. Like
you're
walking in too.
Everyone's asking, "Oh, how do you feel? How'd you feel when that happened?" Man, the only thing I was focused on, where are my kids at? And you see in the video, where are my kids at? Like, that was the only thing I cared about. And my mom, I wanted my mom to know, like, I told you this was gonna happen. I saw it. I visualized it every day, and I told you it was going to happen, and I did it.
Yeah.
And I did it for my kids and for my mom. So, for the first time, I felt like I'm proud of myself, but I'm not done. Like,
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, like I want more.
It's well, because like, and you can relate to this. Nothing you ever do is going to be good enough because we're chasing what it is as a child. And this is, you go through therapy and stuff like that, you kind of learn. We're forever chasing those things we wanted as children to feel like we were never taught to love and appreciate ourselves. So therefore, we're constantly chasing that in other things until we eventually find peace in some of those things. We will, and some of those things.
I feel like that mentality is just not taught. Like, look at Kobe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was never satisfied.
Yeah.
Jordan was never satisfied, right? Like, and they did some of the things that none of these basketball players now, even in this generation, can do.
Right.
So it's like, you look at that and it's like, man, if they're not satisfied, then I can't be satisfied because I'm trying to be at their level.
Right.
I want to be where they're at. So if they're not satisfied and I want to be where they're at, then shit, I can't be satisfied.
Yeah.
I got a long road ahead of me.
Yeah. I wonder if it has something to do with my generation too. If everyone, I guess we're kind of the same age, but still, like, everyone wants to choose happiness, but they don't realize, like, that's not part of the process. The part of the process of being happy is like doing it for your kids, doing it for something other than yourself, and like giving back, whether it's like through God, whether it's through like just sharing the love that you didn't have growing up too, rather than like chasing the actual accolade. That's not what's going to bring you happiness, right? And it's going to be something that like you give to someone else.
I feel like you have to be happy with yourself first.
Yeah.
Because like, that's the biggest problem. You're not happy with yourself. You're making everybody else happy, right? You're putting all that energy trying to make everybody else happy but yourself. And then you're going to be that same miserable, lonely, dark human being that you have to hide and control in your mind.
Yeah. I call it the hamster wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a hamster. It literally is like a hamster wheel of chaos.
Yeah.
And it's like, we talked about this before. It's like a cycle of chaos, and we keep chasing that in other people and other things until we find that within ourselves. And then once you find that within yourself, you can kind of take a step off, and that's when you can say, hey, you know what? This doesn't feel right to me. I need to cut this energy tie with certain people because...
Well, I feel like it's our purpose. Like people who've battled traumatic experiences, our purpose is to give to others. We're givers, right? Because we were never given anything, right? So we want to give other people that we care about stuff that we never give. We're never given.
Yeah.
So we're natural givers. And when we do that, so many people take advantage of that. And then you get hurt. And then you get angry and you get sad and you get all these bad feelings. And then it builds this wall. And then you meet certain people and then they're like trying to be in your life and you're like, and they're good. Like they're just trying to help you be a positive influence in your life. And you're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, you've been hurt too many times.
I've been burned too many times. Like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I want to keep my table just me and my 2 kids and my mom. Like that's all my table is gonna be. You know, I had that mindset forever. Like, cause if I knew if it was just those 3, I won't get hurt.
You're scared. Yeah.
It's scary. If it's those people, I'm good. I'm not gonna get hurt. No one's gonna like devalue me anymore. Like I'm good. And I'm just gonna give them my all. You know what I mean? Because I'm getting it back.
Right.
It's reciprocated.
And it's crazy to think that being scared. So like you, I grew up around gang. I've been shot at. I've been in some of the toughest streets in Detroit, Michigan. I didn't care about my life, so I put myself in the most gnarly positions because I didn't care whether I lived or died because nobody ever showed me love. So I never knew what that feeling was. And so it's crazy to think being scared of having a mutual healthy relationship is scary to people that fight for a living or it can flip a switch and go 0 to Chris Brown. That's why I tell people all the time, I'm the most friendly Southern nice dude in the world, but I can go 0 to Chris Brown as quick as I need to be.
That's funny you say that because so it was not my recent ex, but I had dated a person before that. And I was put at gunpoint in front of my crib, right? So they had a gun in my head, and my ex was in the house right in front of the door. I had blocked the door because my kids were in there too.
Yeah.
You know, and boom, just had the gun. I just stared, The only thing I could think about was I can't move. I can't show any fear. I can't move because something happens to me. It's definitely happening to them. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck, you gotta stay calm. You can't let and I like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna kill this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And you can't move. You gotta stay calm. You gotta show them like you're not afraid. So that's what I did. I just stared at them, let them say whatever they had to say. I said, either you gotta do it or you're not, or you gotta put that down. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Which one you want? Like, I'm not gonna fight with you. You got a gun, I don't got nothing.
Right.
Like, what I got?
You got
fight
the
with
mercy
you?
of
Like,
his decision is, yeah.
That one is not a fight. It's like, what do they say? Bring a knife to a gunfight? That's a hell. Like,
so then the cop. So then her grandpa comes with another gun. So there's 2 people with guns, and I'm like, fuck.
what in the world is going on?
So I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I can only block 1 person, and I can't block 2. So at this point, I'm like, all right, well, someone's gonna take me.
Yeah.
Right. Stop playing these games. I don't want my kids to suffer any longer than what they have to.
Right.
So I said, y'all, if y'all gonna fucking shoot me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with this shit. And the cops came, they started booking it, and then my ex goes, like, why didn't you say nothing? Why didn't you move? And I was like, I was more worried about y'all. Because something happens to me, they're gonna come get you next.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I stay calm and I stay collective, they ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's all talk. It's all.
Right.
But if I flinch or if I move, they're gonna act out of scaredness.
Yeah.
You know what I
Fight
mean?
or flight, just go make it.
Yeah. So you know, if I flinch or I move, something happens, I'm dead. So I had to stay, you know, smart and calm. And I told her, I said, I was thinking about y'all first. You know what I mean? Like that was the only thing I cared about was make sure that nothing happened to y'all instead of myself. And I feel like people who go through, you know, really dark stages in their life, they don't worry about themselves no more. They worry about the people that they love and they care about more.
Yeah. Was there something that switched in your mind? Like, is there a particular point in time when that finally switched from like feeling like turmoil yourself, thinking about everyone?
Nothing switched until the second time I got shot at. Then it was like a switch. It was like because we locked eyes and it was like slow motion, and I was staring at the dude while he was bah, 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 and I'm like staring at the dude, and I'm looking, and the clip's empty, and I'm staring at my ex because she was in the car. She was in the passenger side crying, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And I was like, no, I can't leave. And she's like, Ruben, get me the fuck out of here. I said, no, give me that tarp knife. So I'm a roofer and I have a tarp knife to cut synthetic underlayment.
Yeah.
I said, give me that knife. Because he went back into the office to go get another clip.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
So I was like, hell nah, that fool's gonna come chase us. I have to do something. She's like, hurry up. So she throws me the knife. Bink, I try to get 3 tires. I only got 2, and then I see him coming back down. I'll book it in my car, and then you just hear bah, 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 bah. And he hit the other building. So this was in a public area, bro. Like public parking lot. Like there's a building right next to it. There's 8 bullet holes in my car, and then he hit the 9th one, hit the other building. And this one didn't even get arrested. So we bounced. And she's like crying. I'm going like 90 on the freeway, and my heart's racing. And then I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, give me." She's like, I can't function right now. I can't believe this happened. I almost died." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's not over. You know, it's not over. They're gonna come back, and they know where I live." So I was like, "We can't go to my house. We're gonna have to find a hotel, like in a dip." So we drove to Indiana, got a hotel room that night. I did not sleep for like 2 days. And then I turned myself in. Told them like, hey, like I had to work. Like I didn't want to go to jail because I went to jail, but I slashed this man's tires. Yes, I did. But I mean, I did it so I could escape. You know, I wasn't gonna let him chase me down. And they didn't arrest him or me. How the fuck you not arrest that man?
Well, you know,
got the evidence, too.
it's crazy to think him unloading the clip and then unload the second clip and
Yeah.
8 shots, and you not get shot
Once.
And it's
Not once.
But this is something like when you said like a shift or whatever. It's so crazy how God uses us and puts us in situations. I never really knew until I met Mike Tyson, and I hung out with Mike Tyson at his place here in Newport Coast. And we talked and we were vibing and we were having a, and I said, you know, he's been through a lot of stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
And we were talking and I was sharing kind of my stuff with him.
Yeah.
And I said for a long time, I questioned my faith. I questioned my faith with God. I questioned, you know, all of that. And he said something that stuck with me that really pushes me to this day. He said, God gives the toughest test to people that he know can go help the other people. And it's crazy to think like how we talk about
Yeah.
that's all in God's plans to give you. And I know it's hard because like for me, I've been beaten. I've been, you know, I've been shot at. I've gone through all of this pain, all of this chaos, watching people die, watching all of this stuff. And to think to this day, like all of that was to use me as a vessel to help people that are in a dark place and people that are in that place that I was, to be able to help them. And to think about your story and looking at it in clips of, it's crazy how God uses people through certain ways and through certain trials and tribulations to be, at the end of the day, to have a bigger purpose for them. It's
it's crazy because like this was just November, right?
Yeah.
I was like over 200 pounds. I didn't train for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just so much, bro. Like working full-time job, being a full-time dad, trying to train full-time, and then at that time I was living like an hour away from the gym. So it was just the drive there, the drive back, the work. I work 7 days a week. You know, in Kentucky, they work you 7 days a week, bro. It's not like out here.
They're trying to push the floor.
They're working you like slaves out there, bro. And people, they'll do it. They'll work 7 days a week till they're like 80, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen people work, expect to work like that. And I did that for, 4 years. Worked like that for 4 years, and it was hard to juggle everything by myself. And I thought I was Superman. I thought I could do it. And then, as you can see, my career was like up, down, up, down, up, down. And I never had the opportunity to just focus on training. I always had to be a dad first. I've always had to work and provide for my kids first. And I was losing fights I shouldn't have lost, and so I had to make a decision. I'm like, man, this sport ain't for me no more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'm not doing good. I'm losing fights. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm injured all the time. And I'm like, I'm put it away and just work for my kids and provide for my kids. And that's what I did for over 3 years. I didn't even look at a gym. Didn't watch a single fight. Nothing. And when that happened, dude, I was like, I gotta get into a gym. I gotta do something, because I was so angry, bro. And I talked to my baby mama. I was like, I might do something stupid. She was like, Ruben, you just need to let it go. And I was like, I can't let this one go. Like, it's just eating me alive. And I talked to some of my close friends and my homies. My homies were like, hey, let's get this motherfucker. and so it was like, I had, like, on my neck, I had positive people tell me, hey, this is what you need to do. And I had other homies like, well, let's take care of it. Fuck that. No, like, you ain't no bitch, bro. We're going to take care of this shit.
Good and evil.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I got that tatted on me, because my whole life it's always been that. I've always been around positive people, and I've always been around a lot of negative people. And I've always followed more towards on the negative side, because I felt like that was my worth. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, bro.
And so, when that happened, dude, I went to the gym. I said, I don't want to fight. Don't talk to me about fighting. I just want to come in here, work out, and I'm going to go back to work and go home. And I did that. I started coming there like, 2-3 days. I started getting addicted to it. Then it was like 5 days, and then it was like 7 days. And then it was like, I got to train more than this. Then it was like 2 times a day, then 3 times a day. And then it was, hey, they have a tryouts at BKFC, tryouts in Virginia. And I told him, I was like, I think I might have it. I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm going to go up there. Went up there. I used this other chick's car because mine had bullet holes. I didn't want
You don't want to try with the bullet holes.
Well, I was going to DC.
Yeah.
I was like, nah. I'm going to get pulled over. Nah, I'm good. And I had weed in my car. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
And so I used her whip, and I was the number 1 pick for the tryouts. I told them, anyone, anytime.
Yeah.
I'll cut it. I told Nate Shook, I think I weighed in like 185. He goes, what weight you want to fight at? 165? I said, hell no. Bare-knuckle, I don't want to fight no big dude. You know what I mean?
That'll hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. So I told him I'll make 55, and I fought March. And then I heard that somebody pulled out for Knuckle Mania. And I said, hey, I didn't take any damage. And then the dude in like a minute. So what's up? And then they're like, all right. So I fought Angel Core, beat Angel Core. I don't care what anybody says, beat him. And then he popped. So he's, I don't know, I guess he cheated. And so they took that one as a no contest. And then I fought in July. So that was 3 fights in 5 months.
That's history.
How was it? How was it with your mom seeing your first fight? Was it?
Bro,
I know it had to be stressful.
So I didn't even get to see her. I didn't even get to see her until after fight. So she went from work. She worked Friday.
Yeah.
So she drove from work to my fight. Well, I didn't see her because we had to show up at a specific time.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm like, I'm not even gonna look at my phone because I know I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna get nervous, and so I didn't even look at my phone. And my coach was like, "All right, you ready to fuck this fool up?" I said, "Let's do it." So that happened after the fight. They were interviewing me, and I hadn't even seen my mom yet, bro. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to see my mom, And I saw her, and she was like, "Wow, I didn't know you were that good." And I was like, I fucking tried to tell you. So it was cool, man. We went to dinner that night, and I said, Mom, this is only the beginning for you. Like, I promise you. Because my mom's a hard worker, bro.
Yeah.
She's in her 50s, working 2 jobs.
Damn.
Barely could, pay her bills and stuff. So, I've been trying to, pay her mortgage. Mom, don't work today. Don't Uber today.
Yeah.
Here's, $200 or whatever. So, my goal is to, pay her shit off. And I told her I was going to, and then I knocked out. I did that 6-second knockout. I told her I'm gonna pay your ass off.
So going into the 6-second knockout. So did you 2 things? Did you work on the combination? Or you just were like,
knocked out Coca. Yeah. That's my bread and butter, bro. Like I knocked Coca out that way. I knocked Robbie Peralta out that way. But even sparring, I hit it in sparring on everybody.
Yeah.
So I've done it so many times. We drill it so many times. And when we're in the back, we probably did it like 300-400 times. Like I couldn't stop warming up for hours, bro. You're
just so juiced. Yeah.
I was just so ready to go. And then that's all we worked, just the timing and accuracy. So that's what you guys saw. It was just timing and accuracy.
Well, and heart.
Yeah.
Anybody that gets in there
to
fight on any level, people don't really understand on any level. But bare knuckle especially,
you feel it.
You gotta be built different to even get in there to do it.
Well, I think people that are getting in there, they're starting to see it's not just like boxing. It's not like MMA. It's a different sport, man. There's a lot of rules in bare knuckle boxing, and there's a lot of styles in bare knuckle boxing that it's really hard to just use boxing technique in bare knuckle because you could trap and there's no gloves. Right. So it's you
have to be tactical a little bit.
You have to be very precise because you can break your hand.
Yeah.
And so you got to be very precise on how you move. You got to be very precise on how you punch and how you turn your punches, because a lot of people, they're clenched and they be so tight, and then they're trying to swing all wild, and you're hitting like top of the head, breaking your hand, So my goal is to, and I told them, BKFC the first fight, I said my goal is to be like the Loma of bare knuckle. I want to be elusive. I want to be very accurate, and I want to show people that I'm just a different dog.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm getting there. But
how'd you make the transition from just regular MMA to bare knuckle?
Man, I've been fighting. Since I was like in junior high.
Same.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I used to beat up bullies in high school. Like if anybody in my high school that you talk to them, they'll tell you, like I just loved to fight. I didn't care how big you were, how old you were. I was in junior high fighting high school kids. Like I just loved to fight. I don't know. It's just something that was in me since I was a kid. So I didn't really start training till I was like 18. But before that, I just
You're in the yard. Yeah.
I was just fighting, just to fight, you know.
That's crazy. He showed me your story like a couple weeks back when you guys were first DMing each other. He's like, dude, check this dude out. He's on the come up, you know. I'm like, and then we saw the knockout, the 6 second. I'm like, bro, there's something different in his blood. You could just tell like there's something that you're holding deep down inside that like no other person can just randomly just go out there.
Well, you know, my chick, bro. So she left me for another man right when I signed my contract with Robbie. So
Oh, so this is all recent.
all recent, bro.
Shit.
So, you know, I came back from Knucklemania. I had done a camp in Cali, and she was out there in Kentucky. I flew her out here to LA, and she watched my fight. And I told her, I said, you know, I'm going to be a world champion. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be a world champion. We're going to get out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a way better life. And I felt like she didn't believe me because she couldn't get over our past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a very toxic relationship before. And there's a lot of things that she did that she wasn't proud of. There's a lot of things that I did I wasn't proud of. And I felt like we brought the worst in each other. And I was, at one point, I said, let's stop this bullshit. I love you. You love me. Like, we're not the old people no more. Like, let it go. You know what I mean? Like, but so many people was hating on our relationship that they just destroyed it. Social media destroyed it, all that shit. So, when she left me for another man, bro, like, I broke down right in front of her. I cried. And I told her, you're going to regret it. I said, you woke up a monster. You're going to regret this shit. I'm going to fuck this man up and you going to see. And I called my homie that next morning, 2 o'clock. I was like, bro, I can't stop thinking about her. He's like, let's go to the gym. So if it wasn't for him, bro, I don't know. It would have been probably a lot harder than what it was. But I had a really good friend just be there at the gym with me, training, grinding with me. And then he won his fight. So
Oh, that's dope.
yeah.
Who is it?
So his name's Ulysses.
Ulysses? Okay.
Yeah, his name's Ulysses Rojas. He had his first fight couple
bare-knuckle?
weekends. No. He does kickboxing.
Oh.
He's a beginner. Like, he just started, and but he's been grinding with me, man. And he's up there at 4:30 in the morning with me. He's there for every training session with me. So it was cool to see him destroy this man, you know, and him coming like a beginner, you know, and then to put on a fight like that, it was cool. It was cool to see.
That's the thing. Iron sharpens iron. You tell me.
Yeah,
every day.
I say that all the time. Iron
Yeah.
sharpens iron.
And it's cool because you have like a brother, you know, you got somebody like you could be like 10 o'clock and I'd be like, yo, you want to drill? Yeah, let's go to the gym. All right, cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
You gotta have he's like that for me. Not the drilling, but like with kind of everything with life. Like I was like, hey, this is heavy on my heart or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's good to have somebody there, you know.
Need that, man. Men need that.
Oh,
We need
That's
that. We need that. Like that homie, like when like in the TikTok videos and stuff where they put their head down, they're lifting their head up. Like, yeah, we need that, man, because we're so hard on ourselves, right? We're so hard. Not like I said, nothing satisfies us. We're always trying to give to other people, and we never give to ourselves. So, like the person, like your brother, your friend, or even your girlfriend or your wife, you know, when your head gets down and they lift it up, it's like, oh shit, man! They actually care. Like, it's like a whole the weight's off your
and
shoulders.
it's even better when it's the good. Like one of the things that so like similar to you, I always had the good people and the negative. And looking at it now, it's like good versus evil.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like learning to let go of the evil and the people who with the negative energy sources of falling into that, to have somebody that's there for you and be positive, that's a win-win.
That is the hardest thing to do, in my opinion, is to let go when you don't want to, right? Because like your heart's just so invested into that person and like no matter what they have done, no matter how hard they've hurt you or what they did to you, you're just so invested into that person, like you love that person, so you keep forgiving when you shouldn't forgive. You feel me?
Keep going back,
and you keep going back, and it's like nothing changes, and you're like, why, Lord, why? Like, and it's just it's a cycle, bro. It's just toxic cycle that you can't get out of because you feel like you don't deserve anything better.
Yeah.
So when she did that, it broke me for a second, but I had to use that pain and put it in the gym. And then I was so destined to prove her wrong. You know what I mean? Like I was so like, I'm going to prove her wrong. I'm going to prove everybody wrong, that whole camp. And like, I just trained hard every day. And like, there was times where like, I would spar people and then I would just break down and cry. Just because like the pain was
stuck in there,
stuck in there,
and when you don't know, and you weren't taught how to process those emotions,
and you can't talk about it, like
because it's
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's embarrassing for you, like bro, that chick broke my heart, like you can't really tell your boys that because they're like, bro, like you're a fucking idiot. Why are you letting a chick ruin your life?
Right.
You know what I mean? But they don't understand. But then when it happens to them, you're like, bro, what are you doing? That chick is not even worth your time. How we get out? But it's different. You're not them. You know, you're trying to help them. You don't want to help yourself. You want to help other people. You don't believe in helping yourself because you're so used to feeling that way.
And you think,
you know
I know for me, the cycle was the more that I love them, the more that I'm there for them, the more, then they'll learn to value me or love me. Like for me, the hardest thing that I had to do was women heartache was brutal, but I cut the severing tie with my dad. And so like 4 years ago, I came to my dad and I said, hey, like when I first started therapy, it started with a divorce and then it went to, I need to clean up toxic people out of my life.
Gotcha, man.
And so I went to my grandmother passed away and I came to my dad and I said, hey, look, man, you did some pretty gnarly stuff to me as a kid. He was physically abusive, mentally, emotionally. And I came to him and I said, hey, man, I want to have a relationship with you, but I have to clear this emotion, something that I was incapable of doing as a kid. I need to clear this emotion. So as much as I love you and I want to have a relationship with you, we're going to have to go to some dark places and you're going to have to answer to some of the things that you did. And my dad told me, he said, you should be grateful that I made you the man that you are. And man, I got off the phone, bro, and I cried. I cried like a baby because you want that love and admiration from your parents. I cried and I went to therapy over the next month and I was like, and I knew I needed to release it, but I couldn't. I couldn't. So I waited a month or two and I called back, but something was different. I had begun to heal. And I got on my knees every day and I prayed. And I came to my dad and I said, hey, man. And at this time I had came out, and it's hard to tell people, like I deal with fighters. And I was a fighter, and I hung with gang members, and I did all of these things. And so like I started sharing my story about being sexually assaulted and all of these things to try to be a light to people. And I came to my dad again, and I called him a month later, and something had changed in me. God had put something in me, and I came to him and I said, hey, man, I know you said you don't want to do this, but I really want to try to make this work, but I need you. And bro, he said, I told you last time, there's not nothing I would change. You should thank me. And he said, you should stop telling people about you being sexually assaulted because it happens to people and you need to get over it. Man, and it was something in me, bro. It was something in me that got put on my tongue. And I didn't do it out of anger. I didn't do it out of resentment because there was no pettiness. There was none of that. And I told him and I said, it was something in me that I knew I needed to break that tie. And I said, you know, you're my father. I'll always love you for bringing me into this world. But when you die, your legacy will die with you. I said, I'll never speak your name again. I said, my kids will never know who you are. when you die, you would die the way that you are. And I feel like you probably did the best that you could, but for the first time, I'm going to stand up and tell you, your best that you could wasn't good enough for me. And it's not good enough for me.
It's heavy.
And I cut that tie. That was the hardest tie that I ever had to cut. But it was one of those things you got to cut those ties with.
See, I cut ties with my foster brother. So Temecula, he lives in Lake Elsinore.
Yeah.
Right next to
So that's right next to it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, he was asking this chick about my kids, instead of asking me. You know what I'm saying? I felt like that was
That's
disrespectful.
weird. Yeah, that's weird.
So I hit him up and I said, "Hey man, like, why don't you stop being a pussy and talk to me like a man? If you want to know about my kids, you can ask me yourself, you know?"
Yeah.
And then of course he doesn't respond, so I like texted his wife. I said, "Your husband's a pussy and he has no balls." And I said, y'all need to keep my kids out your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Real talk, because like y'all have never been there for me.
Yeah.
Y'all weren't there when I needed help. Y'all weren't there when me and my kids were starving. Y'all weren't there for nothing. So why do you guys want to even ask? Why do you guys want to pretend that you guys care? You know? And he finally responded to me like, "What do you want?" And I told him, you know, I was also fucking lit, dude.
Yeah.
So my feelings were, you know, coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Bro, you're the shittiest brother I've ever seen in my life." Like, I look at my son and I see how he treats his sister, right? And how much he loves his sister and how much he cherishes his sister. And when they're like separate for like a couple hours, he's already asking about her. You know what I mean? So I look at that and I'm like, I look at the way he treated me and I'm like, "Bro, you're a fucking bitch."
Yeah.
Like, you're a shitty ass fucking brother. And don't talk about my kids. Don't ask about my kids. Don't talk about my kids. You know, let's tell people you had a hard life. And even if I did, right? So what? What does it matter? How, you were never there for me, you know, as a brother, and my son will never do that to my daughter. You know, and I was never taught that, but they see the value of what family is about, and you're just not that. And I just want to let you know that you're a shitty ass brother, and you don't deserve to have a family. And we said a couple other things, but I was like, "I'm coming to your fucking city, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Y'all about to see what's up."
Yeah.
Going to LA. Yeah.
No, in Temecula.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like right around
Yeah.
where he lives. So when I put on a performance like that, I texted him, "I told you, little bitch," but he blocked me. He said he never got the text.
Was it hard for you to cut that tie? Deep down, because
I wanted to answer why he thought it was cool to treat me the way he did. That was it. I didn't care about, you know, hearing from him again, but why do you want to sit there and treat me the way you did, but then you want to come here and ask about my kids and pretend that you've been my brother this whole time?
Just doesn't align. Yeah.
Yeah. So why? Right?
it's confusing.
So when he
Yeah.
blocked me, I was, all right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
I got my answer. Cool.
Yeah.
You're
Didn't want to confront it.
yeah, you cool. You're not even man enough, but you want to talk shit about me. All right, cool.
Misery
You got your
loves-
table.
misery loves
I'll jump my
company.
table, and then but when my flowers bloom, don't be trying to come back to my table.
That's
You
the
feel
thing
me?
too. Is like it's
Don't-
that's the hard part with family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People, it's so funny. They come to your table and then they leave and they want to come back whenever your flowers bloom. But it's like, nah, bro, you left when my flowers weren't bloomed yet. Now that you see the color and you like what they look like, you want to come back. No,
Yeah.
bye. That's it.
That's the evolution of
Yeah, no.
because I'm sure 10,000 times you probably had let people leave your table and come back to your table
too many
when you
times.
shouldn't have.
Too many.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the evolution of knowing that you're growing.
My ex, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't know why you even put up with some of the shit she put me. I've had guns in my head. I've been punched in the face. I've had her ex-husband try to wrestle me. She aborted my kid. She keyed my car, keyed another woman's car while she's in a relationship with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all this shit happened to me, and then I'm still here, like trying to protect her. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what am I doing? And then when she did that, left me for another man. That was all I needed.
But the
Gotta go hard,
biggest thing
too.
is you're learning
Yeah,
to cut those ties, and that is an evolution of.
I think that's the hard part with like good men too, is like you want to always be there for them no matter what too. And
it's dude, it's crazy because God, I do believe God works mysterious ways, because I'm not really religious. I'm not going to be those fake people and be like, yeah, God changed my life. I'm not really religious. I don't really go to church, none of that. But I do know what I've experienced. And in that process, so when all that shit happened and then Robbie happened, I'm getting interviewed, dude.
and that's crazy too. You're 200 pounds in November. That's fucking crazy.
Fat, bro. Because
How tall are you? That's what I'm trying.
5'8".
That's
But I like to smoke and eat a bunch of food. You know what I mean? So I was fat, dog.
Still. Wow.
But so I was getting interviewed after my fight, and before my fight, I was like, God, give me a woman that's gonna like turn my head, because like I've been hurt so many times. So I'm like, fuck females. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just gonna fuck them and leave. Like, I don't want to get my feelings involved. And I told God, I said, I will change my ways if you give me a woman that makes me turn my head. That seems fair, right? Bro, after the fight in Temecula, they're interviewing me, and then this chick walks, and I'm like, I can't interview no more. Bro, I swear to God. And then her homie was like, yo, he's staring at you. Hey, mama, she wants to get a picture with you. You're the 6-second guy, right? I'm like, mama, you can have whatever you want. So we take a picture, and she's like, oh, we changed social medias or whatever. And I said, I'm coming back just to see you. Like, I'm going to come back 3 weeks just to see you. And then here I am. I saw her, and bro, it's been dope, bro. It's just a woman that respects me, values me, all that shit.
And you can feel it too.
Yeah, you can feel it.
And it's crazy how we think we question like God or whatever.
Yeah,
and then it's like, look, you're like, I'm not really religious and whatever. And then you ask for God and he provides. And it's like,
you know
so then it's like, wait a minute. Like, it makes you question.
Yeah.
Like I said, I question forever. Like, I question, like, why me? Like, all of these things. But he gives you when you most need it.
Yeah.
To show you that he's there. He's not always going to provide you with everything. Like, if that was it, it would be like Santa Claus at that point. But God provides you what you need when you need. So to hear you say that is like. He
answered my prayers, bro.
Yeah.
I was just like, and the crazy thing is I think she knows that I'm so like fucked up. You know what I mean? Because like, with my ex, dude, it was like everything was a fight. Like, I could fucking breathe the wrong way in a fight, you know? So she'll put like one word responses. I'm like, yo, are you good? Like, is everything cool? Like, I'm panicking.
Yeah.
And it's just, she's like, whoa, calm down. Like, it's okay. Like, I was like, man, you don't understand the shit that I went through before. So it's so weird to
hard
go.
to take it as a separate
It's
thing,
almost like, it's almost too good to be true. Like, you don't want to believe it.
Is that something? Because he tells me all the time. Because again, we went through different experiences. Like, do you try to create chaos out of your life?
No, so I play it in my head though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't try to create it, but it like plays in my head, and then I have to like shake my head. I'm like, nah, bro, this not like that. Like, relax, just enjoy your time. So we told each other before I came there, I said, I really appreciate, me coming down here and you showed me a good time. And like, the one thing I do like is that you always ask about me and like how I feel. Like, you never want to explain about you. You always asking about me. And here I am trying to make it about you, but you're making it about me, and I've never had that. Never had a woman make it about me. It's always been about them.
What she needs, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've always had to cater to them. It's never been reciprocated back. So when I get that back, it's like, damn, all right, man, I'm gonna put these flowers on the floor while you're walking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna give you your flowers. So it's cool to have a different outlook, and then you're going to therapy. You feel like you're getting better with yourself. You're building the best version of yourself, and now you just met someone that appreciates you and treats you right. So now you just want to keep going and do better even more. You know what I mean? You want to keep striving for greatness, keep striving to become a better person, better dad, hopefully a better boyfriend. I don't know, wherever we decide to go, but it's nice, man. It's peaceful. I feel like if peace brings happiness, you can't have happiness without peace, right?
You got to like tend to it like a garden, too.
Yeah.
You want to water the flowers. If you're just watering weeds, it's
Yeah,
gonna take over,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you this all the time. When I hate to use the term broken, but broken people find broken people. And
Yeah.
it's similar to what you said.
Yeah.
And as you started to heal and go into therapy, and you started choosing good, and then like you ask God for these things, it's like one of those things when you start doing good and putting out good and surrounding yourself with good things happen.
Yeah.
And it's like blessings and things start becoming more and more. It's like watering the flowers. The more that you water goodness, the more goodness comes. Now, if you go feed the weeds and you go to the evil side, those can grow too. But it's all about choosing to go with the goodness. And that was the hardest part for me, is to make that shift, because when something would happen that would trigger me or would make me feel insignificant, or I would have somebody that made me feel a certain way, I would almost shift back over to here. But I learned to not put my hand on that fire anymore. So whenever somebody does or says something, I kind of take a step back, and I learned, for me, I say, hey, I need time to process what's going on, rather than, because I used to, like you, I would fly off at the cusp.
Yeah.
And if you did something that I felt was disrespectful or it hurt me, I didn't know love. So I didn't know how to answer back in a loving way. The only way I knew how to answer is if you hurt me, whether intentionally or not intentionally. I had to come with you with a Thor, like a Thor hammer.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to come with a Thor hammer. But I learned to shift to when things happen that make me feel a certain way, I take a step back, and I have to catch myself so that I don't shift into that dark side. And I say, hey, I need to take time, process that emotion, and then let me come back to you once I kind of am at peace, so that I can come to you in peace with that, so that it doesn't become, a situation it really doesn't have to go to. So that's the toughest thing. So
Yeah, I agree with you on that, man. It's when you try to find peace with yourself, man, it's almost like a test. Like, you try so hard to find peace with yourself, but there's so many things that are trying to take it away. They're like, no, don't find that peace yet. You're not ready. And it's like, no, I want to find peace, but you have things that are trying to like take you away from that. And you have to really bite down and find yourself and really focus on that peaceful side, because I feel like some people settle when they go through traumatic experiences, because they want peace so bad that they'll settle for anything.
The
smallest amount, just so they could have that little peace for whether it's a month or whether it's
like
a year.
Euphoria.
Yeah.
It's like a euphoria. They're chasing that euphoria, whether it's through women, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through alcohol, whatever that euphoria is, where they can feel, even for a second, wanted, needed, or loved, or appreciated, and therefore peace.
I also feel like shrooms help you with that a lot. Like,
speaking of that, I know you were out here training with Mark the Shark and Ian McCall.
Yeah.
How do you know them?
Mark, I don't know how, but we ended up following each other on Instagram, And he hit me up. Was like, hey, if you want to get some work, you know, there's this boxing coach named Bobby in Laguna. I know the guy really well. He could probably help you out. So Mark sent me over there, and then bro, it was like it was a blessing, man, because me and Bobby are like big brother, little brother. We have we have a really good connection, and we were able to work it out, and so we became friends after that. And when I came back, he finally got cleared to spar, so we were able to get some sparring rounds, and yeah, it was cool, man. He's a cool dude. He was at first. I was kind of sketchy. I was like, I'm gonna fuck this fool up, but nah, he's a cool dude.
But it's so crazy how we get a perception of people by the way they talk or act or whatever, and he's so not. I've met him through Kessler.
Dr. Kessler.
Yeah, Dr. Kessler is where I ended up meeting him. Shout out Dr. Kessler. So I met him there, and we kind of had a couple of conversations. And honestly, the first thing you see his hair, and you see how, and you're kind of like, I didn't really judge, but I'm always hesitant with everybody. I call it my third eye. Yeah. And when you come up in chaos, I'm always kind of watching how people move or whatever. And I was like, okay, this guy, like, I see he's portraying this or this. And we had a couple of conversations or interactions or whatever. And I'm like, this dude is completely not what he's a super chill.
Yeah, if you talk to him, but if you go on social media, you talk to two different people.
Super cool, super caring, super cool guy, super cool vibe. Ian,
I love Ian. He's a good dude, man.
I've never met him in person. I've talked to him through Insta a couple of times. I had a car wreck like 3 years ago. That's why I have to have like scripts or whatever. I had a car wreck. And so I had a traumatic brain injury. And it's funny because we always laugh with people. And I've had a couple of amateur MMA fights probably 10, 12 years ago or whatever. And it's funny, like my friends all laugh. I got hit by the postman. And it was only going like 25, 30 something miles.
Money. Did you get some bread?
Man, they could have
the process right now.
They could have all that money. Man, dude, it completely, like, dude, I had like post-concussion syndrome. Like, dude, I was waking up days. I didn't know where I was at. Still to this day, like, I wake up some days, like, I have to have sticky notes, like, hey, you're at home. This is like, I'll wake up some days and I'm like confused and all over the place. And so I had reached out to Ian. Ian had like a protocol with like the shrooms and stuff. And so I started taking like some. Yeah, it helps some. I need to do long term. I'll probably have to try some other stuff with hyperbaric chamber and something, hoping to kind of get back. Yeah. But I still struggle a lot with that stuff. But Ian, it was super friendly. Answer my text, like answer my Instagram, like right away. Like, cool. He's a super good dude. Super cool people. So with bare-knuckle, what's next? What do you
I don't know, man. I thought me and Lily were gonna get into Spain. I heard that he has a new opponent. I would like Bobby Taylor. I want Bobby Taylor. He's number 6, number 7 in the world. So I would like to get that fight.
Bobby's in Memphis, isn't he? I think I don't matter.
Say, you're like, I'll fight anytime, anywhere.
I want to say Memphis. I think I've seen him fight. He used to fight MMA, and I think, but
I'm horrible when it comes to like studying my opponents because I just don't.
Yeah, I don't either. The times that I did, I'm the same way.
I just feel like I fight my fight. I'm not gonna worry about your fight.
I'm the same way.
I'm gonna be me and do me.
Not overthink. Yeah.
I'll see, like, I'll look at certain things like, oh, he's a pressure fighter. Oh, he's I gotta fight this way. But as far as like really studying my opponent, who he be, what team he's at, I don't look at that.
I don't know. The only times that I've ever lost in either MMA or jiu-jitsu has been whenever I've studied what they do, and because I'm used to chaos.
Yeah.
I grew up in it like that. That
Well,
to me is
you're
my-
a country dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
Wild
the-
country
Want to scrap
dude.
it.
yeah, you know what I mean. So I
How we
can't.
got a mullet. Business in the front.
Yeah, all day. So like the times that I have lost, I went through and I tried to pick apart.
Yeah.
And then what happened is whenever those things didn't happen, it would throw me for a loop. And then I was like, oh, but I thought he was supposed to do this. So I was supposed to do this. And so I just totally stopped, number one. And then number two, I just went in with a different mindset. And it was funny, like with IBJJFs, like, Worlds, Pan Ams, it's funny, like if you've ever been to an event, like in the bullpen, like you got all these guys and they're acting like they're fresh out of prison or whatever. And like they're all mean mugging and everybody's trying to be whatever. And at first I used to do that too. And then I was like, bro, like,
I think it's funny when you do that.
so now I go in there and I'm like, hey, like I'll know who my opponent. So like when we get ready to line up, I'm like, hey, I'm Clinton. It's nice to meet you, buddy. Looks like we're gonna be on mat 3. Man, I wish you. I get Ned Flanders. Man, I hope you all the good luck. And then when we turned, red rum, and I'm picking dudes up and I'm slamming them, and that redneck comes out and I'm picking dudes up and I'm power bombing. And then I've had guys after matches, they be like, bro, what happened to that dude?
nice dude.
I'm like, bro, he shuts off right when we walk out there. It's red rum after
funny.
that.
That is so funny.
I'm the same way, bro. I can't plan. I have to have chaos. So, all right, well, we're going to close it out with this, and this one's kind of deep.
All right,
so if
let's
you need
do
to
it.
take a second, if today was your last day, what do you want Ruben to be remembered for?
A man that gave his all as a father, a man that gave his all as an employee, a man that gave his all, whether it was fighting, whether it was everything that I've done. I have put my 100% in everything I do. That's what I'm going to be remembered as. That's it.
Dude, I'm just shook. Like the fact that you were 200 pounds like sticks with me. It's like, it's obviously it doesn't start
Bro,
there, right? It started from like when you're younger, going through it when you had to go through it.
Yeah,
rugging,
man.
tugging, and-
I'm telling you, dude, her doing that was the best thing she could have ever done to me.
Right.
Because it made me want to prove her wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because she was so focused on like the me when she destroyed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy how people, they're so quick to be like, he's an animal, he's a monster, he's this, he's that, he did this, this, and this. But what about the stuff that brought him to that, right? What made him do that?
right.
Why don't you talk about that first? Why don't you talk about what you did to me that created me to be that way?
Yeah, we're like a
Right?
victim society.
So
yeah.
these women, dude, they're so quick to point fingers at us, but they don't realize some of the shit that they do. And then if we try to tell them, hey, we don't like this. This is what you're doing. I don't like it. I need you to do this. Man, that's a fight because, you know, we're in the wrong. We're always in the wrong. We're not allowed to say our piece. We're not allowed to speak our piece because that's like you're asking for a fight and you don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Arguing with a female is almost impossible. You know, especially like your significant other. You know, arguing with her, it's impossible because they're already. Oh, I'm always right. Like that's their mindset. I'm always right. They're always wrong. I'm always right. So her doing that, it was like, you know, I'm gonna prove this bitch wrong. I'm gonna fuck this
Show
man
me
up.
why.
I'm gonna train so freaking hard. She's gonna regret everything that she's done to me. She's gonna regret how she made me feel. She's gonna regret because every guy that she's with, she's always gonna think of me. Always. It doesn't matter. You're downgrading. You can't get better than me. And you have that mindset. She can't find no better than me. Good luck. Good luck.
And think full circle. You ask for God to bring you a woman that brings you
And it
peace.
comes.
You ask for God to bring you a woman that brings you peace, and now you don't have to worry about arguing. You don't have to worry about who's right and
ex
who's
who?
wrong. Exactly. See what I'm saying?
Who's that?
God's plan. That's why I said, man.
Bro.
God,
You know what's crazy, dude? So I get down here. I'm in sales, right? I'm a project manager. I'm in sales. She's in sales, so she does credit card processing.
Yeah.
She's brand new to credit card process. So she's still kind of learning the game. But I'm in sales and I could sell absolutely anything.
Yeah.
You give me a water bottle, I could sell the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
And so we're in Laguna and we're at my buddy's restaurant. He just opened a restaurant out there. And we're smoking, we're drinking. He has a top chef, a world chef that's been a top chef for 25 years. So they're making us food. And I get her a sale, dude. So she's using her credit card processing company with that restaurant.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So not only did I come down here, but I was like, honey, I'm gonna change your world. Huh?
Yeah.
You've been good to me. Let me do it back. So I got her a sale.
Good
Yeah,
sale,
yeah.
What's your buddy's restaurant?
So it's called 237 Ocean Avenue.
Okay.
Or 237 Ocean Avenue. It's a pretty high end restaurant. But the food was fire, bro. And I wasn't because I was stoned. The food was just really good. It was really good.
Yeah.
So it was cool, man. It's a beautiful atmosphere.
Gorgeous out there too.
Lagoon is so pretty.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. So pretty.
The view.
And just really good people. You know what I mean? Like just very nice people, hardworking people, and you could just tell they just love what they do.
Chill vibe.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about California.
Bro, for real.
The vibe is just chill. Depending on where you go. You go some place that gets sketchy. But it's super chill. That's why I love the OC. Everybody asks me all the time, like, hey, would you ever move back to Montgomery? And I'm like, no disrespect. I loved what it was able to do for me and the lessons that it taught me, but also I don't want to go back and worry about getting shot. I would much rather pay 3 times the rent and
cost of living out here is a little too much.
Yeah.
Those are
so
the gas here, the cost of living here, fucking food here,
everything.
I don't know how y'all live here.
Struggle is real.
Yeah.
Especially with 5 kids. I got 5 kids. The struggle is real.
We're not playing.
No, I got 1 black, 1 white, and 3 Mexicans. So I got
one black. You got all 3.
United Nations in my house.
I love it.
All look like me, just different shades.
Dude,
the black boy or girl?
Girl.
Oh yeah, you got
your and I said
sassy.
Oh man, and beautiful, and I wish she had a lazy eye or something. but no, she's perfect. Not just because she's my daughter, but perfect in every way. And man, that's. The struggle is real. She's 19 in college, and I'm like, man. Sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, we went." Girl, don't tell me. I don't even need to. Just tell me. Yeah, let's just eat dinner and talk about something. Let's talk about school and work. I don't need to know.
Not ready for that, man.
I don't need to know nothing about your dating situation.
I told my daughter she's not allowed to leave.
Yeah,
not allowed to leave.
You can date when you're now. My youngest, they'll be like, "Dad, when can I have a boyfriend?" When you're 30.
Yeah.
When you're 30.
Don't think about it yet.
Yeah.
Your boyfriend got to spar me.
Yeah. Thank you.
If he can beat me up, you can date
True. If he can get past the mullet, the guns, and the Brazilians I hang with, good luck.
Good luck.
There ain't very many that's going to do it. So.
Man, that's so funny.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and sign off.
Sir.
We look forward to cheering you on soon when you get a fight. Thank you again for coming on. I know it was super motivational for me, and I'm hoping sharing our stories can be a light to somebody that's in a dark place and know that no matter what you've been through, there's brighter days to come. So I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Take it easy, guys. We're signing off, and we will see you next week.